What's going on, everybody? You're tuning in to BottomLineSports.net, serving up deeper insight on everything sports. Tim Tebow attracts a lot of criticism, some warranted and some not. Former NFL quarterback Boomer Esiason, one of two former Jets quarterbacks who aren't fond of Tebow, has taken it to the extreme. He recently came out and said, quote, "If I were the Jets, I would cut Tim Tebow. I really would. It's not in any way, shape, or form, I think, benefiting this team." End quote. And he's right. Tebow isn't benefiting that team because they haven't even played a preseason game yet. First of all, I think some people are forgetting that the Jets' new offensive coordinator, Tony Sparano, loves the Wildcat, as everyone saw when he was with the Dolphins. Now he has a player in Tebow who has two skills that make him the ultimate Wildcat quarterback. He's a power-running quarterback who can also throw the ball deep. Those two skills can make the Jets' Wildcat packages extremely unpredictable. That's just one reason why Boomer coming out and saying things like Tebow won't benefit this team in any way is a clear indication that he has a personal issue with Tebow, but he's not the only one. Stephen A. Smith and Merril Hoge have also criticized Tebow in a way that is much more harsh than we've seen in the past for NFL players. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that this isn't a good situation for Mark Sanchez. His team went after Peyton Manning in the offseason, so he knows his team isn't 100% behind him. His contract doesn't guarantee anything outside of being the starter in week 1. His coach has publicly said that his new popular backup, Tebow, could see up to 20 snaps a game. And yes, a lot of those snaps will call for Tebow to throw the ball. Why else would Tebow be rigorously trying to improve his unorthodox throwing motion by working with two different people in the last 6 months? He recently worked with former MLB pitcher Tom House, and in mid-February, he worked with UCLA coordinator Noel Mazzoni. Both House and Mazzoni have worked with some of the NFL's best quarterbacks. So of course this isn't a good situation for Sanchez, but has he earned the right to be called a surefire starter anyways? Sure, the Jets had made it to 2 straight AFC Championship games in 2009 and 2010 under Sanchez, but even Jets fans will tell you the team rode its defense and its running game to those heights. And last year, Sanchez didn't show significant improvement. He was 23rd in the league in QB rating. He completed 56.7% of his passes, which was 28th in the league. And he turned the ball over a career-high 26 times. 18 of those were INTs. The other 8 were fumbles. In fact, he has the second highest turnover total since he entered the NFL 3 years ago. Meanwhile, Tebow has shown that he can take care of the football, only turning it over 12 times last year, 6 INTs and 6 fumbles. He also throws a better deep ball. Sanchez completed a league-low 2 completions over 40 yards last year. Tebow completed 3 of them in the second quarter alone against the Steelers of all defenses in Denver's wildcard win over Pittsburgh. Not to mention it was Tebow who led the Broncos on a game-winning drive against Sanchez and the Jets in a 17-13 win in Week 11 of last year. With all that considered, the fact that Tebow has qualities that Sanchez doesn't, taking care of the ball, throwing the deep ball, the potential for late-game heroics, while also being able to run the ball the way he does, I didn't even mention that. With all that considered, critics like Boomer Esiason, Stephen A. Smith, and Merril Hoge still say Tebow is bad for the team, when really it's more so just bad for Sanchez. You know what also makes this a terrible situation for Sanchez? The fact that the Jets play some of the best defenses in the NFL to start this season, and he'll be feeling the pressure. Sanchez will face the number 1, 6, 2, and 4 scoring defenses from last season in weeks 2 through 5 when the Jets play the Steelers, Dolphins, 49ers, and Texans respectively during that stretch. If that's not enough, the Jets go on to play the Patriots and Foxborough in week 6 and then play the Dolphins tough D again before their bye in week 9. Sanchez will be lucky to have a winning record by then, and in my opinion, a slow start for the Jets offense will lead to Tebow becoming the Jets starting quarterback. Back to Esiason for a second. He also said, quote, "You can say whatever you want about Tim Tebow. He played some of the worst football that any quarterback has ever played in the history of the game last year at times." End quote. If that's true, then Jaguars quarterback Blaine Gabbert must have played some of the worst football that any quarterback has ever played in this or any other dimension of the universe last year. Stay with me. I'm just trying to make a point with this. Gabbert fumbled the ball 14 times in 14 starts, more than any QB in the league. He was dead last in QB rating and yards per completion, and was second to last in completion percentage on a Jacksonville team that finished dead last in passing offense. He was also sacked 40 times, tied for third most in the NFL. And before you assume that's because the Jags' offensive line sucks, keep in mind that Maurice Jones-Drew led the NFL in rushing last season, so it can't be that bad, okay? And this is a 10th overall pick in the draft, who the Jags traded up 6 spots for? I don't mean to rag on Gabbert here, but the bottom line is, there's some bad QBs out there, and the criticism of Tebow is way overblown at times. Is Tebow the best pure passer in the NFL? Of course not. Esiason's comments are not all false, but his level of criticism, along with that of Stephen A. Smith, Merril Hoge, and others, reeks of something that isn't a professional opinion, but a personal one. Thanks for tuning in to BottomLineSports.net. Just wanted to say that I've ironed out a schedule for BLS. Going to be doing it every Monday and Thursday starting next week. So now you know when to tune in. Please drop a comment and make your voice heard. Make sure to visit the Facebook page for BLS. You can follow me on Twitter at TSunSports. That's it for today. I'm out.